Welcome back. It's your favorite toxic YouTuber and red flag back for another video. And today's question that was submitted is, what are the lessons, or what is a lesson that I learned from previous relationships? And for me, it is a little bit of vulnerability goes a long way. Like, there are times where I was put in a situation where somebody was asking me to be vulnerable, or waiting for me to be vulnerable, or revealing a little bit of myself would have saved a situation or made a situation better. It was what somebody was looking for. And there's times I could have met somebody halfway, and I just, in my mind, it was not the right time, it was not the right place. So allowing myself to be vulnerable, even on a very small level, for me is a big deal to somebody else. Because sometimes I just don't want to talk about things. But when I look back, that really wasn't a big deal. It was, for me, sometimes it's timing, sometimes it's the place. Like, if I feel like something's going to make me emotional on the rare occasion that I'm actually going to shed a tear, I might not want to have that discussion in a public place. But there's a time, what about when we got to the car? What about when we got back to the house or the apartment or whatever we were doing? Could I have then opened up, or could I have explained myself about why the situation was? A lot of my relationships have died from me not being emotionally vulnerable, from me being very emotionally unavailable and distant, more than anything else. People can deal with me not wanting to get physical with them, but what people cannot stand is, okay, so you're not being vulnerable at all, and we're just in this situation. Is it a friendship, which I'm never dating for friendship, or is it that you're just not interested? And for me, as long as I'm engaging with you, as long as I'm being consistent with you, I'm in it to win it. But yeah, a lesson that I've learned is I have to be a little bit vulnerable. At the bare minimum, I have to be able to express myself and how it is that I'm feeling. Do I have to go into great detail? Do I have to get into my childhood story? Do I have to, get into X, Y, and Z? No, I don't need to do all of that. But do I need to be able to express myself and let somebody know what I'm feeling and where I stand? Absolutely. That's been a major thing. What's another lesson that I've learned? Communication is key. So I say this all the time in the comment section. I've said it in several videos. I feel like I say it in almost every single video. But communication and my ability to becoming a better communicator has saved me. It saved me. It saved other people. The fact that I'm very upfront, even with some of my dysfunctional things, has saved me from a lot of frustration in relationships where we just wouldn't have been compatible. It has saved other people from trying to become involved with me and see what lies beneath the surface when I'm being very upfront about the fact that I don't do X, Y, and Z, or these things make me uncomfortable. Communication has really, being very direct and communicating who I am and what my needs are and where I can meet you right out of the gate, has saved me personally a lot of frustration. Because when people don't know what's going on or where you stand, then they want to call you, then they want to ask you a lot of questions. Now you're continuing to have the same conversations over and over and over again. Me being upfront, even about the most dysfunctional parts of being with me, saves people a lot of frustration and really hurt feelings. Not my feelings being hurt, but other people. If I tell you up front that I'm probably never going to tell you that I love you, and you say that's not for me, and you know that's the first date is the last date, my feelings aren't hurt. I'm not emotionally invested. This person's feelings shouldn't be hurt. They shouldn't be emotionally invested. I just met them. Everybody walks away clear. But if I were to not say anything, and we're 4 weeks, 6 weeks, 8 weeks, several months in, and I'm having these issues, which I'm not going to say I love you 90 days, but there's other things like holding hands. I can't stand that. It takes me a lot of time to do that. Hugging. I don't really like to do that. There are some people that's the bare minimum. There are some people that I understand that what I'm offering is not even touching some people's or the average person's bare minimum. So communicating my boundaries up front so that I don't have to say them after they've been crossed and I'm frustrated and then it becomes a whole nother issue or even an argument or even a falling out. That's been a major thing. Becoming, because I wasn't always a good communicator or even a communicator, period. I see certain comments about people that are dismissive avoidant. I'm like, I used to be there. But no, becoming a better communicator and understanding that I have to communicate, not even about vulnerability, as that's a totally separate thing, but communicating, period, was a big deal. It has been a game changer for me. And my relationships and even dating experiences have been much more positive, even if they've ended, because I'm a better communicator. Becoming a better communicator actually made me a better person. It's made me a better person. It's made me a better partner. It's made me a better, employee. When I work for people, I communicate very upfront. I'm very upfront and very direct about what I do and don't do. What is another lesson? I need to be more vulnerable. Communication is key. I also understand that I have to consider the other. I don't know why I'm laughing at this because it's really sick. I understand also that I do actually have to consider the other person's feelings. That just because I lack empathy doesn't necessarily mean that that's an excuse for why I do some of the things that I do. I have to figure that out. I have to work that out. So I have to be able to emotionally meet people where they're at. And if I cannot emotionally meet you where you're at, maybe I'm just not the person for you. And this goes into what I mentioned in a previous video or two. Again, like, subscribe, check out my playlist. Of why I tend to date people or get in relationship with people that are at the same level of emotional availability as I am. And it's very easy for me to find somebody who's like me. I know right away. Like, I can just like feel like, oh, okay, this person's not gonna emotionally exhaust me. But even with that, I totally lost my train of thought. Emotional vulnerability, communication, respecting other people's emotions, acknowledging other people's emotions. Woo, it was hard to even get out. My brain didn't even want to hold on to that. But I have to meet people emotionally where they're at. That I do have to acknowledge their feelings, even if I don't want to. That also goes into being vulnerable, or at least, letting somebody know that I'm here for them. Because it's not that I won't support you, but sometimes I struggle with supporting people in the way that they need. So recognizing that this person needs to be supported in a particular type of way and doing that for them. Being that person for them as I would expect this person to be there for me if I were to lean on them, though I don't lean on people. But that's part of my problem right there, is I understand that I don't lean on anybody else. So I go, oh, they got it. I know you got this. Stay strong. Good luck. You got it. But that's BS to somebody who needs to feel like there's somebody else in their corner. Whereas I'm like, you got it. It's all on you. You're Michael Jordan. You got this. What is that? What is that? And that's wrong to even say Michael Jordan, because Michael Jordan was a team player. Excuse me, LeBron. LeBron, you got this. It's one of those. So I have to be able to meet people halfway. I do have to acknowledge their feelings if I want a situation to work. If I care about somebody, I will acknowledge their feelings. But I had to grow into that. I need to be a little bit vulnerable, communicating, acknowledging people's feelings. Yeah. I think those are the three biggest lessons for me. A little bit of vulnerability goes a long way. That's probably the biggest one. And then understanding that I have to, even if I don't understand exactly how they're feeling, I need to understand that they're feeling very deeply about something, and I need to be able to support them in the way they need to be supported. This is also why communication is a big deal, because then I ask people, what do they need? Like, my best friend has gone through some of the toughest times in her life, and I've never experienced losing my parents, so I don't know what that's like. And I really was stressed out by the fact that I understood that my friend that never really needs me for anything, which is not part of the, I don't want to say that's the reason that I love her, but like, she's so strong. Like, I watched my best friend push out a child. She didn't yell. She didn't scream. She didn't even curse. This is the strongest person that I know. So to see her go through such a tough time, I thought I was going to lose my friend, because I'm like, girl, you know I lack empathy. Like, it's something we laugh about because she gives me grace, she gives me space, and she appreciates me for being me, and she's seen me grow as I've had to, you know, use her children to grow and be vulnerable, because children don't really reject you. They just kind of laugh in your face and then ask you for fruit snacks. So in doing that, I had to ask her, okay, so what do you need from me? What do you need? What can I do for you? And so these types of things have helped me to become a better partner in my relationships. So again, to summarize, I understand my biggest lessons are I need to be vulnerable, even on a small level, because it means so much to the other person that I'm actually taking steps to meet them halfway, that I actually am opening up, being a good communicator, communicating my needs, being a good listener, right? And understanding what their needs are. And then also, you know, being emotionally supportive, acknowledging the other person's emotions, good, bad, or whatever. So thank you so much for tapping into my channel. Please check out my other content. Like, subscribe, share this video, find me on Instagram, reach out to me via email. And family, I'll be tapping in with you very soon. Keep it real.